This crazy guy is called Folarin. Early in the morning, he woke up because of his phone ringing. He had slept with two heavy women after drinking many bottles. He just kept turning on the bed lazily. The phone kept ringing and the caller was his younger sibling, Motunde. Crazy guy picked up the call. Motunde, what again? Didn't I tell you I don't have any money? I'm struggling badly here. Come on, struggle on your own. Motunde said, I'm not asking you for money, so why are you calling me this early morning? Motunde replied, morning? It's already noon. Noon? So what do you want? So you are not coming to the funeral? Funeral? What funeral? Okay, first, tell me, would there be food there? Motunde said, what is wrong with you? You know the people who died, right? Folarin replied, I don't know. I don't understand. What does someone's death have to do with me? Are you serious? The crazy guy put his head back on the woman's body while still talking on the phone. So what do you want me to do about the deceased? Just send my condolences to the family. He cut the call and started rushing the women. Put your heads on my shoulders. After some time, the girls prepared to leave. Folarin works in a club in town as an hype man. This is his everyday life. Women, alcohol, cigarettes, endless pleasure. He escorted the women outside and they met the landlady and greeted her. The old woman gave them a disapproving look. Inside, Folarin noticed a small piece of clothing. What is this? He stood up to call them to collect their clothes. He walked out wearing only boxers, not knowing the landlady was outside. The moment he stepped out, his face dropped. Good morning, ma. The girl ran back inside. Why did you leave your clothes here? Sorry, ma. She left and the landlady said, this boy is very foolish. Welcome to Naija Movie Expert. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell icon to join this big family. Folarin prepared to go to work. As I said, he's an hype man. He prepared himself and opened a drawer to take money. Then a photo of a pregnant woman appeared. He froze briefly and shut the drawer. We will later know who that woman is. Outside, he again met the landlady. I want to talk to you. You are going to work, right? Yes. Tell your female friends to reduce the noise. I can't sleep at night. You better turn off the music. No problem, Folarin replied. And is she coming again today? No, she will return tomorrow morning. Oh, tomorrow morning? Alright, he left. Meanwhile, the person who died was Folarin's ex. They had a daughter together named Cecilia. Since the mother died and Cecilia is still young, she can't live alone. Motunde brought her to her father's house. They knocked many times but no one opened. The landlady came out after hearing endless knocking. Is there a problem? We are looking for Folarin. Did you call him? Yes, many times, but he isn't answering. He knows we are coming. She checked. His car was outside. Maybe he stepped out briefly. She gave them seats to wait for him and went inside. After some time, she came out and found Cecilia alone. You are still here? Where is your aunt? She replied, she had somewhere very important to go, so she left. Come watch TV and eat at my place. Cecilia agreed and they carried the bags inside. She lay on the sofa. Late at night, they were watching TV. Suddenly, they heard Folarin opening his door while singing as usual. The landlady went to talk to him. He had actually been inside the whole time. You were inside? People are waiting for you outside. Cecilia appeared and greeted her father. Folarin was shocked. I want to go to work, but you have a visitor. She can stay, he replied. You have a visitor, Folarin? Let me ask you, when shame was being shared, did you refuse or did you miss the line? You have no shame. The landlady left while Folarin complained confused. Cecilia said, I can wait inside your house. I promise I won't touch anything. I'm not naughty. He had no choice but to take her inside. I'm leaving. Enjoy yourself. There is no food and I believe you are not hungry, Folarin said. Yes, I'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow, she replied. You wanted to come inside, right? Don't spoil anything. Watch TV if you can. If you can't switch it on, leave it. He left. Morning came. Cecilia was still sleeping on the couch. Suddenly she woke up to a loud noise. Her father had returned with two women as usual, busy dancing and singing. He suddenly remembered, oh, I forgot, Cecilia is here. The women went into the bedroom to give him space to talk to her. Why are you sleeping here? You are the one who left me here. Go and sleep in the room. Don't copy my lifestyle. This is for adults. And if you hear any sound, just ignore them. Everything is fine. He walked towards the bedroom, laughing loudly. When he entered, the bed was already prepared, clearly for enjoyment. Cecilia entered the assigned room. It was extremely dusty and dirty. She began cleaning, removing cigarettes, many alcohol bottles and trash. She packed all the dirt into a box and went to throw it away. On the way, she met one of the prostitutes. You shouldn't dress like that when going outside. The woman ignored her. It's not nice going outside half naked. Shut up, rats. I'm just advising you. Do you think I'm your father? Go advise your father. They kept arguing until Folarin came. What's happening here? And don't talk to my daughter like that. Cynthia. My name is not Cynthia. My name is Cecilia. I am advising her to dress well. Folarin had even forgotten his daughter's name. Why do you talk too much? Why are you still here? Leave so you won't be late at the club. The woman left. He turned and noticed the entire house had been deeply cleaned. Everything was arranged perfectly. No dust anywhere. I'm hungry, Cecilia said. There was no food in the kitchen. He took out money, then reduced it before giving it to her. She thanked him and counted it. It was enough. Later, she asked the landlady to show her the market. Before directions were given, Esther appeared. They already knew each other from a school debate competition. The landlady asked Esther to take her to the nearby market since they already knew each other. They left chatting a lot. Later, Cecilia cooked in the evening. Folarin returned exhausted with headaches. Mixing music, alcohol and sex always gives him headache. She checked his temperature and made him coffee to help. She also told him to go bathe because he smelled. He went to the bathroom. Cecilia was slowly trying to put him into a normal human lifestyle. On Sunday, she prepared food and dressed for church. She asked if he knew any nearby church. He didn't know and didn't want to talk much. She decided to go with the landlady. After church, she returned and found him smoking. She sat beside him and asked him to put it out. Reluctantly, he did. Thank you. How was your day? Don't bring me stories. Why do you always chase me away? Why don't you want to know anything about me? Why do you have so much drama? Why do you want to be like your mother? Don't mention my mother. I need to talk to you. You're my father. He got uncomfortable and left. Don't use my mother to end our conversations. Just show you care. Fine, I care. At night, Cecilia lay on the bed holding her mother's photo, the same one Folarin saw earlier in the drawer. It was her mother. Life continued. Folarin returned drunk in the morning and Cecilia carried him to bed and covered him. When she lived with her mother, Folarin used to send very little money. They struggled and did many small jobs to survive. He had promised to marry her but ran away when she got pregnant. Cecilia revealed she knew the truth. He was hot but ignored it. Cecilia admired Esther and wished to return to school. One day, Folarin watched football happily while betting was winning. He kept drinking. You drink too much. It is bad for your health. Alcohol is good. You see better. You can drink too. I am 12 years old. So you're already 12? He didn't even know her age. She asked, I know you didn't want me, but did my mother's death hurt you? How is that my fault? You abandoned me for 12 years. You can make the right decision now. You are disturbing me. My players can't even play well. I told your mother not to give birth to you. It was a mistake. She left, crying to her room. Her own father said he never wanted her. That night, he again drank loudly with some women present. Cecilia entered with Esther and confronted him. You drink too much. He tried grabbing the bottle, but she stopped him. Isn't losing one parent enough? Do you want to kill yourself too? This is my house. The landlady entered. What is happening here? Look at yourself. Some people pray for a child like this. She took Cecilia away. That incident hit Folarin hard. The landlady told Esther to let Cecilia stay alone that night. No questions. Next morning, Folarin came to pick her. The landlady told him Cecilia didn't want to talk to him and scolded him heavily. He left, not caring much, but Cecilia had heard everything. The landlady explained, your father doesn't hate you. He just needs time to accept you in his life. Cecilia returned home again and continued caring for the house. One day, Cecilia asked him, what did my mother do to you? Or do you hate me? You are my daughter. That's not an answer. Do you hate me? No, I don't hate you. Should I just leave then? I can't stay where I'm not wanted. I need you here. I also want to be here, but I can only stay if you will also be here. Let's talk about this when I return. When? You never have time. I want to go to school, but you don't care. What kind of father doesn't care about his daughter's life? It would be better if I were an orphan. Those words hit Folarin deeply, but he hardened himself and left for work. Cecilia called Motunde crying. Meanwhile, Folarin also cried heavily while looking at her mother's photo, then wiped his tears and went to work. The next morning, while returning home, he saw other fathers close to their daughters, but he was close only to alcohol, cigarettes and women. He bought a gift and called Cecilia silence. He found her bags packed and searched everywhere but couldn't find her. He went to the landlady. She hadn't seen her. He called Mutunde. After a while, Mutunde arrived. She called me saying she wants to leave, so I came to pick her up. Wait, what exactly did she say? She wants to leave? Suddenly, Cecilia came out of the landlady's door and passed them without speaking. They followed her inside and he asked to talk. She agreed and sat down. He began telling his story. I was 20 years, she was 19. We were in our final year in the university and lovers. All we wanted was marriage and a family. When she got pregnant, I became very afraid. So I ran away. 1 month, 2, 6, 5 years. Every time I remembered your mother, my heart hurt. He explained his current lifestyle was just running away from that pain. He apologized sincerely and said he was tired of that life. He had already quit his hype man job and would look for another job to spend more time with his daughter. Mutunde was very happy. Folarin stood up and gave her the gift, a phone. They hugged. Days later, they spent time together, eating ice cream, watching football. He asked the landlady for the school head's contact so Cecilia could attend the same school as Esther. Their relationship grew stronger and Cecilia returned to school. At the end of this movie, Folarin prepared to go to church. Cecilia held his hand and they walked together. End of the movie, Finding My Way. Write your opinion in the comment section. How did you find this movie? Was it very intriguing or interesting? Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on bell notification icon to get notified when we upload new videos.